Hey, first of all, I just want to say thank you for praying for me. I know a lot of you knew that I was in the hospital for a day starting on Sunday afternoon. Um, I had a case of diabetic ketoacidosis, or otherwise known as DKA. And what it is it's a condition where your blood sugars get elevated for too long, and then it sends you into this sort of spiral of dehydration and just other things that causes your blood to get sort of toxic. And so after church, I just was feeling bad and went to the emergency room and ended up being hospitalized for a day. So first of all, I want to say thank you for praying for me. I am better now, and I've learned a lesson to really keep an eye on those blood sugars. I've never had that happen before. So, and by the way, if you have diabetes, type 1 diabetes, don't get DKA. It's horrible. Make sure you keep those blood sugar levels down. You know, when I'm at Target or Fred Meyer in the greeting card section, and when I actually have time, I like to browse the cards. I like to read the words of cards for the different occasions like graduation, weddings, of course, sympathy, love, and friendships. And the words are beautiful and thoughtful and well crafted, and I like them particularly because so often these people, when they write these words for greeting cards, they take the time to really wordsmith them and craft them in a way to express feelings that maybe we're not able to express. I especially like this one on friendship, and it comes from, the words come from a poet by the name of Dinah Maria Craik. This was written in 1859, and it's entitled A Life for a Life. It's kind of long, and it's not my favorite to have lots of words on greeting cards, but this is just so good I couldn't pass it up. This is what it says. Oh, the blessing it is to have a friend whom one can speak fearlessly on any subject, with whom one's deepest as well as most foolish thoughts come out simply and safely. Oh, the comfort, the inexpressible comfort of feeling safe with a person, having neither to weigh thoughts nor measure words, but pouring them all out right, just as they are, chaff and grain together, certain that a faithful hand will take and sift them, keep what is worth keeping, and then with the breath of kindness blow the rest away. Isn't that great? You know, how often do you have that kind of feeling when you're in a group of people? When and where are you able to share whatever's on your heart without fear of being laughed at or judged or misunderstood or rejected? And I wonder, do you have a friendship like that? I'm hoping that you do. Obviously, we have that kind of friend in our wonderful Lord Jesus. But if we're called to be like Christ, and we are, then such a friendship is possible, and it's something that we really ought to be about trying to cultivate in our lives. David and Jonathan from the Old Testament, a wonderful story of friendship, they modeled such a friendship. And I want to read for you the first 4 verses in chapter 18 of 1 Samuel, which is one of the beginning episodes of this really impressive friendship. Quote, Now it came about when he had finished speaking to Saul that the soul of Jonathan was knit to the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as himself. Saul took him that day and did not let him return to his father's house. Then Jonathan made a covenant with David because he loved him as himself. Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that was on him and gave it to David with his armor, including his sword and his bow and his belt. You know, we all have a need to connect with other human beings. There's an epidemic of loneliness in our society. In fact, studies show that 4 out of 10 Americans admit to being frequently lonely. But to belong, we have to pay a cost, and that cost is vulnerability. It is a cost that many people have a hard time and aren't willing to pay. And yet I wonder if people realize what the incredible payoff is for risking and developing an intimate friendship. Just as Jonathan laid down his armor and weapons, we too must lay down our defenses and allow ourselves to be vulnerable, to share our deeper parts with someone trustworthy. We wonder, of course, will I be safe? But let's take a look at what intimacy is. Quote, In an intimate relationship, one feels safe to reveal hopes, dreams, fears, the past, including one's sins and mistakes. These things can be shared without the fear of being judged, condemned, or straightened out. Intimacy happens when two people walk into each other's imaginations, each actually penetrating the secret place of each other's hearts and minds. End quote. We were created, made in the image of God. And I believe that our desire for intimacy comes from being made in God's image.